The Girl Who Didn't Belong. The first time it happened, I was 8 years old. I was sitting on the cold kitchen floor, tracing invisible patterns on the tiles while my mother argued on the phone in the other room. Her voice was sharp, like glass scraping against glass, familiar, distant, exhausting. "She's always like this," she said, "quiet, strange. It's like she's not even here." I remember staring at my hands. They didn't feel like mine. That was the first thought I ever had that scared me. Not monsters under the bed, not the dark, but the quiet, creeping feeling that I didn't belong inside my own life. That night I had a dream, but it didn't feel like a dream. I was standing in a train station I had never seen before. The air smelled like rain and metal. People moved around me in a blur, their faces unclear, like smudged paint. And above me there was a digital board flickering with arrivals and departures. One name kept flashing: Lena Verne. I didn't know that name, but when the voice called it, "Final boarding for Lena Verne," I stepped forward, without thinking. Then I woke up, back in my bed, back in my life. But something had changed, because when I looked into the mirror that morning, for just a second, I didn't see myself. I told my mother, of course I did. I was 8, still young enough to believe adults had answers for everything. She didn't even look up from her coffee. "It's just a dream," she said flatly. "Stop overthinking." But I wasn't overthinking, because I could still feel it. That place, that name, Lena Verne. Years passed, and the feeling didn't go away. It grew. By the time I was 16, I had stopped telling people. Not because it stopped happening, but because it got worse. Sometimes I would be walking down the street, and suddenly everything would shift. The buildings would look unfamiliar. The sky would feel heavier. And for a few terrifying seconds, I would know this wasn't my world. And then it would snap back, like nothing happened. I started writing things down: dates, times, what I saw, what I felt. Patterns began to form. It always happened near crowds, near movement, near transitions. Train stations, bus stops, airports, places where people were leaving or arriving. And always, always, there was that name, Lena Verne. The first real break happened on a rainy Thursday. I remember it clearly because I almost didn't go out that day. I had a headache, my mother was in one of her moods, the sky was heavy with clouds, but something in me insisted, go. So I did. I took the train, sat by the window, watched the rain race down the glass. Everything felt normal until it didn't. It started with the sound, a low hum, almost like electricity buzzing in the walls. Then the lights flickered, just once, then again, and then everything stopped. Not slowed, not paused, stopped. The rain froze mid-fall. The people around me went still like statues. Even the sound disappeared. I was the only one moving, the only one breathing, the only one alive. And then I heard it, a voice, soft, right behind me. "You weren't supposed to stay this long." I turned, slowly, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. And there she was, a girl, about my age, standing in the aisle, watching me like she had been waiting her whole life. She looked like me. Not exactly, but enough that it made my skin crawl. Same eyes, same face shape, same expression. But where I felt incomplete, she looked whole. "Who are you?" I whispered, but I already knew the answer, because she smiled, just slightly, and said, "My name is Lena." And that's when everything I thought I knew about my life started to fall apart.